a video. Yes, it is a scrambled egg. But as you look at it, I hope you'll begin to feel just slightly uneasy. Because you may notice that what's actually happening is that the egg is unscrambling itself. And you'll now see the yolk and the white have separated, and now they're going to be poured back into the egg. And we all know in our heart of hearts that this is not the way the universe works. A scrambled egg is mush. Tasty mush, but it's mush. An egg is a beautiful, sophisticated thing that can create even more sophisticated things, such as chickens. And we know in our heart of hearts that the universe does not travel from mush to complexity. In fact, this gut instinct is reflected in one of the most fundamental laws of physics, the second law of thermodynamics, or the law of entropy. What that says basically is that the general tendency of the universe is to move from order and structure to lack of order, lack of structure, in fact to mush. And that's why that video feels a bit strange. And yet, look around us. What we see around us is staggering complexity. Eric Beinhocker estimates that in New York City alone, there are some 10 billion SKUs, or distinct commodities, being traded. That's hundreds of times as many species as there are on Earth. And they're being traded by a species of almost 7 billion individuals who are linked by trade, travel, and the internet into a global system of stupendous complexity.
Welcome to the Big History class. This is a video syllabus, where we will be asking the big question, why is there something instead of nothing? The Big History Project was established by David Christian. His overall belief was that we could establish a class that basically teaches everything. We could take all of the major disciplines that we study, from science to the humanities, and merge them together into an interdisciplinary course. He has done that through this site, the Big History Project site. When you go to this site, this is what you will first see. What you will want to do is to get started on this site by looking at the major themes and units that he has provided. The way you can do that is to go to the place where it says Get Started. As soon as you have done that, you're going to see that there are 9 units that have been created in order for you to jump into this interdisciplinary site. The units start off with the Big Bang and end off with future predictions on what may happen to us as we go along as a human species. What I want you to do is to sign in at this site up at the top and join with the Big History Project. Once you have done that, then you can go to the thresholds on the left-hand side of the project. When you go up to the thresholds, you'll notice that there's a very easy way to get to all the major units, starting off with the starting point, going through the 8 major units, and then ending off with those future predictions that we were talking about. When you get to each one of the units, you will see this page. As you scroll down to the page, you will find videos and readings. When you get to the very bottom of the page, you will find a quiz that you can take on the information that you have just read and seen through videos. By the time you get done with all the 9 units and you've taken all the 9 quizzes, you will be registered by the Big History Project as being a big historian. They will actually send you out materials registering you as a big historian. So that explains the Big History Project itself. Now on to our class at Blackboard with Big History. At this particular course, there are a few things I want to point out on how to use the pages that you're going to see. First off, I want to point out the left-hand side of this page. This part is extremely important for you navigating through the course. The very first place that I want to point out is the syllabus. You probably already know how to get here since you're looking at this video syllabus. But one thing I do want to point out when you get to the syllabus is that there are going to be 2 different things that you need to look at the syllabus. One of the things you need to look at is this video syllabus that you are watching right now. But the second thing that you're going to need to look at is the written syllabus. The written syllabus will take you through the major policies of the class, the assignments of the class per week, and the grading rubric. Once you're done with that, go back to the left-hand side. You'll notice on the left-hand side that each one of the weeks is laid out for you. Each one of the weeks has a title, and when we go to each one of the weeks, for example, week number 1, you will typically see 2 folders. One of the folders will be a folder for content and lecture, and a second folder will be a folder for assignments. When you click on the folder for content and lecture, you will typically be routed to the area for information for that particular week. And typically what you're going to see here are videos or directions to go to the Big History Project website and look through 1 or 2 of the units for that week. Now let's go back to the assignments folder. When you click on the assignments folder in each week, you are going to see the different assignments that you have to do, and in each one of these assignments you will also find rubrics. You will want to make sure to complete these assignments and then attach them to each one of the assignments in the place that is provided for you. One last thing that I want to point out are the discussions that we will be doing each week. You will notice in the assignments that I have provided directions for you for these discussions. The place where you are going to complete the discussions is again on the left-hand side. When you go to the left-hand side, notice that there is a tab for discussions. So let's click on this. When you click on the Discussions tab, you are going to see this page. Each one of the weeks has the discussions that we saw under the assignments. I have provided the questions that you will be discussing. This area is really important, and what I expect from you is that each week you will at least post once to the discussions about one or multiple of these questions. To get the most out of the class, the best thing would be to post multiple times and to make sure that you are posting in relationship to what some of the other teachers are posting. The great thing about this discussions area is that it's a great place to share ideas and to share assignments with one another as you are going through the class. The very last discussion section that I am going to provide is this shared assignments discussion area. This is an area that I would strongly suggest that you post assignments to, as well as posting them to the required areas. The reason for doing this is that this way we can go ahead and share the assignments that we are doing together so that we have a portfolio of assignments that we can use by the end of this online class. The next big issue that I want to take a look at is the assignment under week number 5 for globalization. When you go to week number 5 in the assignment folder, you are going to find the public presentation assignment. This is probably the capstone and the most important assignment of the class. Here's why. When David Christian established the big history project idea, what he wanted to do was to create a project that would bring together all the fields in an interdisciplinary way, and he wanted students to be able to construct their own arguments in an original way that was done in a public presentation. The reasons for doing this include, number 1, the students will take ownership over their motivation. Number 2, the students will present in front of public a very strong argument with good support. And number 3, this is an interdisciplinary type of project where students will take information from a variety of sources and really be engaged to present it to the public in a way that makes them committed and makes them responsible for the arguments that they are making. I really want to stress that this last major assignment that we're going to be doing is essential to the class that you will eventually be teaching. The Big History Project was the idea of David Christian. He wanted to create an interdisciplinary class that helps students to ask big questions. Questions like, why is there something instead of nothing? What are our origins? And does this mean that we have any special and unique ethical obligations to one another? I'm really excited that we have this opportunity to have a class where students can ask these big questions, and I'm excited to work with you as teachers to create that class so that we can engage students with questions of meaning and significance. Thank you.